interesting wildlife photography business. So I'm here to chat to him about it. So Nilesh, can you tell me what is a photographic safari? Because I've known friends who've gone on safaris, but I don't know anyone who's going on specifically a photographic safari.
Right. So in normal safaris, what happens is you choose the destination, the type of animals you want to see, and your main aim is to basically go on a holiday where you can see wildlife and their natural habitat. The only addition to that with respect to photographic safaris is you go with the aim of taking pictures. So the aim would be to go on a 7-day, 15-day trip and to come back with not only your holiday experience, but a photographic memory as well. So this photographic safaris allow us to enhance your photographic skills because there is a dedicated photographic tour leader with you who would be helping you out with your photographs in the field itself. So every evening there would be an image review session. So whatever pictures you have taken today, the pro photographer like me or my partner would um, give suggestions on whether the angle could have been different or you could have taken it at eye level, and also editing tips.
So it's not a case of you going through and going like, oh, rubbish, 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 rubbish. No.
It's not.
Okay. Because I'm not a photographer myself. So would such a tour be interesting for me? Someone who's not like that much a photographer?
Definitely.
Or more for like someone who's more keen?
Definitely. I mean, you would definitely, as long as you love nature and animals and respect their habitat, you would definitely enjoy these holidays from a holiday point of view. Also, if you want to, if you have been gifted with a camera or you have interest in photography and you want to take it further and enhance it, you are more than welcome to do that.
So I don't need to turn up with a top of the range camera to be able to make the most of my trip.
Not at all. In fact, if you don't have a camera, you can rent it from us for the duration of your trip. You don't need big lenses. You can rent it from us and return it. So that way you don't carry your camera gear to Africa or India. You get it there, rent it from us, and you return while going.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good deal. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of if I had like an expensive camera, when else I would use such a big lens, spy on my neighbor or something. But
Exactly.
I'm not living in Beverly Hills, so I don't think there's much neighbor spying really. Okay, that sounds really interesting. So can you tell me about, if I was to decide whether to go to India or Africa, what would you like? I mean, apart from the animals themselves, is there anything that sets out the two trips? Because you have lions in both places, right?
Yes, there are lions in India as well. Not many people know that. A different species of lion. They are Asiatic lions.
They don't eat people in India, right? So it's safer when in India. They don't eat people.
These are wild animals. We maintain our safe distance.
Okay.
So the most prominent difference is India is known for the tigers, which are not found in Africa. I mean, wild tigers are not there in Africa.
No.
They are only found in India. And cheetah at the moment is only found in Africa. There are no cheetahs in India in the wild. Apart from that, it's a different ecosystem altogether. In India, it's dense jungles, whereas Africa is open plain savanna.
How do we get around in both places?
So in Africa, we have 4x4 vehicles fitted with radios and those vehicles are pretty much capable of doing any kind of off-roading.
Mhm.
Whereas in India, when you enter a national park, uh, there's a set path we cannot deviate from. But they are big parks, 1,500 square kilometers.
Any of the time on foot, or it's always on the vehicle?
In Africa, you can be on foot sometimes, but not in India, no. There are designated places where you can go for a comfort break or for breakfast. But apart from that, no, you can't get down.
Speaking of breakfast, and on this trip, the food's good.
Definitely. I mean, our chefs, they do take care of guests, and uh, the typical schedule is like you get up at about 4:30 in the morning.
That's
Uh,
very early.
yeah, because the wildlife is active early in the morning.
I see.
Then you get your tea and biscuits and some sandwiches in the morning. Then you set off for the drives. Since the wildlife is active, we keep our cameras ready. Then about 7:30 in the morning, we stop for breakfast. We have a packed breakfast in the middle of the jungle or in the middle of the savannah if we are in Africa. And then after half an hour break, we proceed to looking for more animals.
Yeah, so I take it, my understanding is like all refreshments provided on these trips.
Oh yeah, these trips are all breakfast, lunch, dinner, tea, snacks, everything is included.
So I just need to turn up and just be ready to take the photos.
Exactly.
Do I have to myself be alert all the time, or will I be guided to where to look?
So the biggest advantage is you would have me, who has experience of that geographical area, and a trained naturalist. We will be looking out for animal activities. We will be, before even heading to the park, we would talk to the rangers from last night and find out if a kill has been made somewhere, because a bison is a 2-ton animal. If a tiger has killed a 2-ton animal, uh, he or she is going to feast.
He's not going to call like a tow truck to lift it out. No.
No.
Wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, but well, from working with you and chatting, you seem to be quite an expert with big cats. You seem to know quite a lot then about big cats. Can you tell me like a fact? Say the other day I was asking about panthers.
Yeah,
it was very interesting. You told me about panthers. Yeah, didn't know.
So the leopards, there are some leopards where.
This is in India, right? The leopards. Yes.
In southern India, there is a park called Kabini. And in Kabini is famous for black panthers. So completely black leopard. So as if there are no marks, it's totally black cat. And that is, some people thought that it was a totally different species of big cats, but it's not. It is a leopard basically, but because of too much melanin, the cat looks completely black. The leopard has gone completely black.
Yes.
A very beautiful animal to look at.
Yes. Can imagine. And you have photographed them?
Yes, I have.
Yes. I believe you can see your photographs on your site.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So with these big cats, I heard they sleep a lot. We'll be able to still see them?
See, all big cats, they don't like high temperatures. So they usually sleep during the day. About at sunset, they get up, they have a drink, and then they start wandering around their territory. They will start spraying and marking the territory. That
better be out of the way. Wouldn't want that.
Yeah. And at night, they have superb night vision.
With goggles.
Yeah.
Like in the US Army goggles. No, not like that, no.
No. So usually what happens is all the herbivores like deers, they try to take refuge at the high point, at the like a hilly area in the forest, because they are scared of leopards and tigers. So at night, they climb to the high area, and after sunrise, they come down to graze.
Mm. So will we see any swimming tigers? Or are they only specific areas you see them?
The swimming tigers?
Yes, swimming tigers.
Yeah, you get to see them, especially in summer months when they are trying to cool themselves off. Um, some parks like Ranthambore National Park, there's a big lake. So I have seen tigers swimming in those lakes.
Is that the park you said you grew up near, or is it a different park? You
So
mentioned like it was a famous park.
I grew up near Nagpur, so which is the hub for like all the parks in central India.
So you would kind of almost know this like the back of your hand.
Exactly. Like since childhood, I've been visiting these parks. So I grew up near Pench, Kanha, and Tadoba National Park. And even Bandhavgarh was not too far from me. So I was really lucky that I had proximity to all these national parks, and the tigers have been part of um my life from such an early stage.
And with photography, did that come in earlier or later on for you?
Photography started something later when I moved to the UK for some time, and then the photography kind of grew up on me. I decided to take it up as a from hobby to the next level, and that's how I've been doing it almost for about 12 years now.
Oh, because I was going to say like 50 years, but not as long as that. So it's one thing to be a very good photographer, which you know you are, because you actually won an award with The Guardian.
Yes, the Guardian one.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the question was like, so you're a very good photographer, but are you also a good teacher of photography? Can you help someone like, especially someone like me who's an amateur? If I turn up,
That's
I
a
want to go home and impress. I don't want to like, go on this trip and then my friend just flick past my pictures on Instagram. They don't stop to look at it.
that's a very good question. There are people who are very good photographers, but may not be great guide or teacher, as you must say. Um, I personally use Canon and Nikon both gears, so I'm kind of comfortable with those. Most important thing I focus on is when somebody is coming with me on these tours, they need to be comfortable first of all. They need to know the area, they need to know the behavior of animal. So rather than starting with photography, I try to connect with them at a personal level, and then I can, even if I'm teaching to a 15-year-old child or somebody who is in their early 70s, so I can vary my level of teaching accordingly. And photography is not all about technical details. It's an art. It's a digital art because we take using a digital camera. But at the end of the day, it's an art, and it doesn't matter what camera was used as long as the picture is compelling and it tells a story. It really doesn't matter.
So you would help me post in a way that would impress my niece and nephews on
I'd
Instagram.
love to say that, yes.
Oh, that'd be really good. So since you are very familiar with these areas, do you come across any animals which you recognize?
Um, there are certain tigers I can identify by sight. There is a famous tigress in Tadoba. She's called Maya. Um, I have seen her cubs. I have seen her cubs growing up.
So each animal has a distinct look.
Yes.
I see.
So for the first time, when we look at the animal, it may look like any other tiger, but when we look closely, their stripes are like our fingerprints. They are very unique. That's how we identify those tigers. And the forest department also keeps a census that way.
And anything on the same ilk with, say, the lions and the lioness? Can you tell them, or they're more because they don't have stripes? Last time I checked.
Exactly. But they are very social animals. They live pride. 20, 30.
Like Pride in London last weekend.
that was a very different kind of pride.
Yes. So I was going to ask again. So, okay, so we speak about, like, say, someone like me who's, not really much of a photographer, but what if, say, you have a family turns up or a couple, and one of them's really not either confident or interested, but they're coming along? Will this trip still be interesting for them and enjoyable?
As long as they have liking for nature and animals and good food, they
Yes.
will love this trip. This trip would be an opportunity for a non-photographer to be away from the hustle and bustle of the city and to enjoy the nature, the flora, fauna, and connect. I'm sure if your spouse doesn't like photography, but you are a very keen photographer, even in that situation, they are happy with you visiting these places.
Okay, and is any cultural aspect to these trips?
Yes, definitely. When you go to these remote places, say Masai Mara, so the Masai tribe is there. We go to a Masai village visit. When we go to India, there's a Baiga tribe present. So the Baiga tribe, they are the indigenous people living in the same national park in harmony with the tigers for centuries.
Are
So
they herders?
no, they are not. They do farming on a small scale.
I see.
So
And
we
with these trips, are these tours respectful for the environment and the cultures of the people we visit?
exactly. So during these trips, we only select the lodges and resorts which are eco-friendly. They play their part in um, making sure that the guests are not impacting the environment. All the local produce is used. Local people are employed on those resorts. Apart from that, handicraft is made. The training is provided to the Baiga tribe. They make handicraft, which is sold to the tourists. So that way, local. So because of these activities, the tribal people know that tigers are actually good for them. Tigers are actually
So
part.
it becomes a conservation aspect to it too.
Exactly. So
Mm.
when we go back with our tours, we try and take some educational material like books and pencils and school bags and things like that for their children
So
to.
you would encourage your visitors, your
Yeah,
guests, to bring.
yeah,
And well, like they say, it's better to shoot animals with a camera than a gun.
exactly.
Yeah.
Bring back nothing but memories.
Yes. And likes in your post.
Exactly.
That's really cool. So tell me a bit more about the typical day. So you say up at 4:30, some breakfast, we go
Yeah.
for a tour. Yep.
Then uh, a real breakfast around 8:30, and
Can
you
you tell me what could be in that real breakfast? Those
uh,
foodies like me there.
the menu varies every single day.
Yeah.
Some day it could be sandwiches, muffins, boiled egg, bananas, apples.
I love Indian food. There's Indian food.
If you
Sure,
want,
right?
it would be, yeah, yeah. There would be idlis, the fluffy noodles and things like that. So yeah,
So I'm not too familiar with all the location of all the parks in India.
Mhm.
Does it span north to south, east, west? Is it all over, or is it particular in a particular part of India? These parks that you take for the tour.
So majority of the parks are present in central India where I grew up, and one of the exception is Ranthambore, which is in northwest of India. Apart from that, Bandhavgarh, Kanha, Pench, Tadoba, they are all present in
And I
central.
can find all this information on your site.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
If you have
And
questions, you can send me an email from my website also. I'm more than happy to help you.
I take it you personally answer all these.
Yes, I will.
Okay. And so let's back. So the day continues after breakfast. We're on the tour. We start looking for the animals.
So about at 11 o'clock, we leave the park. We come out. We uh, get some cold drink, juices. As soon as we come back to the resort, we freshen up, take some lunch, some rest, and then again at 2 o'clock we leave for the afternoon drive. Come back at about sunset, and then in the evening there's bonfire. There can be tribal dance. So these tribals come and perform for the guests over there. Um, we spend a little bit of time looking at the images we have taken during the day, so that next day we can improve on our photography and try and take a different perspective, a different angle of photo which we have not captured before.
So apart from the dinners,
Mhm.
is there any kind of social events for the guests for us to mingle? Do we have like a welcome drink or anything like that?
Yes, there would be welcome drink, and depending on how social you're feeling, we can. There would be lots of other guests staying at the same property. You can mix with them, or you can have a private dinner just for you and your family. That can also be arranged, and from socializing point of view, there would be plenty of opportunities to meet people, make new connections, connect with other fellow photographers. So these opportunities would definitely be there.
Ah, so I just need to impress them by mentioning that famous shop in New York. And just mention, I need to remember the name, so that way I can just like say it to them.
That might help.
Okay. So talk back to photography. How do you source your camera? I just want to find out a little bit more about you. How do you choose? I say, because you mentioned two brands,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, say with me and motorbikes, like it comes to a point like, okay, which one do I go for?
Yeah.
So how do you set that out for you?
In today's world, no camera manufacturer makes one perfect camera. Otherwise, everybody would buy that, right?
Yes.
Or a same lens. So every manufacturer has their own strengths and weaknesses.
So you read reviews or things like that, or?
I use them. I hire the camera for, or sometimes the camera companies like Olympus is going to send me the latest gadget for their 300 lens with their camera body attached to it. So camera manufacturer, they also approach wildlife photographers sometime so that we can, they loan us
Yep.
camera gear. We take it to the field and see how it performs.
That's really interesting then.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd be in a very good position to discuss, the latest or the most suitable equipment with someone who's got a passion for it and interest.
That's right. But again, I would like to say not everything is about gear and technology. At the end of the day, it's a photograph, and as long as it's pleasing to people, it does not matter whether you have taken it from a DSLR or a 800 lens or a point and shoot camera or even a mobile phone. Doesn't matter as long as composition is pleasing.
Well, yeah, there are now like mobile phone camera competitions. I see.
Yeah.
I'm quite impressed with some of the pictures as well. How they do it from just a mobile phone.
Unfortunately, in wildlife, because we have to stay a long distance away, the mobile phone camera doesn't work very well.
Unless you can fit a big lens on an iPhone, which I think you can, but I'm not so sure. So I'm going to ask about okay, you hear stories about crazy driving in India and crazy driving Africa. Will I be safe with your driver? Will my family be safe?
See, in Africa, we hardly have to travel by road. We take a flight.
I see.
And we straight away land near the lodges. So there is hardly any driving involved. We don't travel by road in Africa. In India, You may have heard the erratic driving, but we have been using travel companies and drivers for last 20 years, and they have been very reliable, no complaints at all, and they would follow all the rules, not talk on the mobile phones. These are the specific instructions when they are.
That's good. That's good to know. Yeah. What else? Yeah. So, oh yeah. So when should I go? So I can save up and get time off work and that.
So
Unless I'm retired.
it depends on your appetite to heat. In India, the hotter it gets, the better chances of sighting tigers and wildlife.
Oh, I thought you said they don't like heat.
They don't like heat. That's why they have to come to the water hole to cool down.
I see.
That's how the sighting becomes certain.
So global warming might improve business for you.
I'm not sure that will. But in summer months, what happens is all the leaves in the bush, they dry off and the visibility becomes more clear. So you can track down a tiger or a leopard from a very long distance.
I see.
As compared to maybe rainy season when the foliage is very thick and there's plenty of water, so the tiger does not need to come out for
You
water.
have to educate me to when in the year these seasons are.
So April and May is the best time to spot tigers and leopards.
April and May.
Yeah. You could also go in October. For those people who are not very good with 45-degree heat, October.
45. Ooh. So do you recommend how to dress for us to be comfortable?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you recommend like how to dress for these trips?
Well, shorts and t-shirts. Yeah.
Short t-shirts. Okay. Yeah.
Cover yourself up.
Mm.
And October can be a good time for at about say 30-35 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still spot these big cats.
So it never goes down to like 20, like temperature like.
It's funny you say that because in winter, that is December and January, the morning temperatures can go up to -1 or -2 degrees inside the park.
Oh gosh.
So you have to wear in layers.
I see. So you run your trips all year round?
For tigers, yes, all year round. Masai Mara, it's usually the migration, the annual wildebeest migration, which is July to September.
Mm-hmm.
And then January, February, March, that can be a very good time in Masai Mara.
So if I had the time and the means, I can do Africa, India,
Yeah.
in the same year.
Yeah, definitely you can. In Africa, there are hot air balloon rides also you can take.
See, yep.
That is an option for you. You can visit the Maasai tribe if you are interested in cultural photography. Yep. You can see their primitive ways of living. You would have full access to their house. You would meet the tribal chief. You would have a traditional drink with them. So these are the activities which keep our guests engaged during the stay.
Do you have guests who've returned?
Yes, there are. There are people who have, they liked Africa so much that they want to keep going back every time. The interesting part about wildlife is it's not like city break where you saw this museum, that museum, and you are done. In wildlife, you never know what is gonna happen. The drama unfolds. Every site, every safari is different. Every game drive is different. You never know what you're gonna come across. So that is.
And do you keep, say, your customers updated? Do you do any newsletters or so we know what's happening or anything coming up or anything interesting? You keep in touch with us?
Yeah, definitely. All our customers mostly follow us on social media also. Instagram, Facebook page.
Can you spell it out because I went to the wrong one. Your Instagram.
Definitely. It's Nim Tree Wildlife. These are the handles on Instagram, Facebook page, and Twitter. Same
Okay.
happens.
So it's
Ministry Wildlife.
N. So it's NIMTRE. Okay. So guys, don't make the same mistake I did and went to follow a different neem tree.
But you would have quickly realized.
I didn't send them like, oh yeah, I'll talk to you soon. It's like, and they'd be like, who are you?
So I can see, Brett, you are
Are
wearing.
you gonna take out any copyright actions against the other one or no?
No. I can see that you are wearing a big cat T-shirt today.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see, please? Oh, wow. Is that a leopard?
I think it's more of a tiger.
Ah, yeah, that's an interesting one. Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought dress appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I would like to talk a little bit about lenses to carry to India and Africa, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
So on a medium range, I always suggest to carry a 70 to 200 mm lens.
Can you say that again? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
On a medium range, 70 to 200 mm lens is adequate for India as well as for Masai Mara. But for at a long range, because there are lots of small birds in India, you can go for 500 to 600 mm lens. That would be a really good option. In Masai Mara, the wildlife comes very close to you, and you don't need 500, 600 mm lens. Even 400 is fine, just fine. Here, I would like to add one more point that not every single shot has to be taken going very close to the animal. Not every shot needs to be a very zoomed in.
So we don't need to go like what you done. Was it 5 feet away or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You got a good insurance policy?
so that was done with a very long lens. What you can also do is take a habitat shot where you show the animal, the surrounding interaction of other animals. For example, at a water hole, the elephant is there, zebra is there, the rhino has also come to drink. So that kind of gives a very inclusive shot that shows the environment. Whereas sometimes using a long lens, we can go very close to the face of a tiger and just take this much. So these are very.
They look up at you, the tigers. Did they actually stay?
Oh yeah. They give you plenty of time to photograph. Whereas tigers are a bit shy, so you need to be prepared.
So run me through the animals like I could be seeing the big animals in Africa. We mentioned lions.
Yes.
Rhinos.
Yes.
And they're okay rhinos and not a bit tetchy.
No, they are not.
Okay. Elephants, the big African elephants.
Yeah, African elephants. We stay on our vehicles all the time, so that's perfectly safe. There are Cape buffaloes, leopards, cheetahs, servals, caracals. So these are the other types of cats.
I see.
You would have trophies.
What are cropies?
Trophies are like they are antelopes.
Oh.
They belong to the deer family. You would see zebras, wildebeest. You would see giraffes, ostriches. You would see warthogs. You would see kudus in some parts of Africa, waterbucks, jackals, hyenas.
So much.
Some of the names.
And in India, tigers.
So tiger, leopard. India has one-horned rhinos in some national parks. There are bisons, Indian bisons, and they are huge. They weigh like 2.5 tons.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Then there are Asiatic elephants, Asiatic lions. There are wild dogs, Asiatic wild dogs. Um, in Africa, they are called painted wolves as well, the wild dogs.
Oh.
Um,
Any
Not
apes or
pets.
monkeys? Will we see any apes or monkeys? Is that not quite the...
Definitely, you would see the langurs, monkeys, sloth bears. Um, you would see about 4 to 8 different species of deers, like spotted deers, Barasinga, and cheetal, sambar. So these are the various species of deers.
So
They
it's
are the favorite food of tigers.
more animals in a box of animal crackers.
Definitely.
Wow. Hey kids, don't go to the zoo. Go on this man's photo safari.
But you know what? When I look at zoo animals, they are so sad and depressed. Cannot be compared to their natural environment where they are free to go and they are free to roam around and they have very healthy diet. That's not a zoo. It's a natural habitat. It cannot be just compared.
Yeah. Do your 2 dogs join you on this trip?
Unfortunately, not.
They eat all the food.
Yeah, they would be always looking for food.
Yeah, let me see if there's anything which we would like to cover. So we pretty much cover the speciality of each part. Yeah, we've got. And oh yeah, so tell me a bit more about the accommodation.
So the lodges we choose are best of the best lodges available in that region. They are totally safe. They have very knowledgeable staff, English-speaking staff. They cook Indian as well as European American food or Asian food. You just have to tell them any allergies or anything. You just have to inform them just before arriving, and they would make sure that.
Good beer and wine selection.
Oh yes, definitely, definitely.
Okay.
With the exception of Tadoba, at the moment in Tadoba National Park, there is a ban on sale and consumption of alcohol.
Yeah.
Apart from Tadoba, all other national parks are fine. You would have high quality alcohol available during your stay.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like a nice drink after a hot day.
Exactly.
Ah. So, anything else you would like to tell us about yourself or your trips?
Well, I have seen that a lot of photographic safaris have started to India in recent years by photographers who are not from of Indian origin. They are fine photographers. I appreciate that, but sometimes my experience goes a little bit further because I grew up there. I speak local languages, which is Marathi, Hindi, so I can converse with people and find out a bit more rather than they would be willing to tell a foreign guest. So kind of I have access to that inside
That's what we're saying about you grew up in that area. You spend lots of time there.
Exactly. We have our own network of guides, drivers, and we make sure that the best of the best vehicles turn up. Because in Indian national parks, everything is on a rotational system. So everybody, the vehicles are rotationally allocated. We make sure that the best vehicles are available to our guests and there is a lot of space. So one of the main feature of the photographic safari is that on a vehicle which can carry 6 people, we only carry 2.
Oh.
And the reason is we allocate one full seat to a photographer because with sitting with
to move from left to right and such.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You never know what side of the vehicle the wildlife
So
is.
your tours are like creme de la creme.
I would love to say that. Yeah. So they have more space, they have more attention. That way they can concentrate on photography. They don't have to worry about getting the national park permits. The national parks are divided into several zones. So, for example, in Ranthambore, there are 10 zones. A normal tourist wouldn't know which zone to go to. But because we know that, okay, this zones are good and others are not so great. They have wildlife, but not that great. So when booking the photographic safaris, we want our guests to be happy and have the sighting, because if they don't see the animals, they don't get the photograph, and that's a very unsuccessful photo safari.
Photograph the local flowers.
We don't want that. So we choose best of the best zones months in advance, even before they know that how much of hard work goes into obtaining those permits.
And your connection with Africa. Can you tell me something about your connection?
Sure. I have been drawn to Africa since I was a child. We have some relatives, so we used to visit Africa. Been there on safaris before, uh, and then gradually, when I decided to do wildlife photography, it was a no-brainer. I had best of the both worlds.
That's my wildlife just coming.
Yeah, you're a big cat. So yeah,
Thirsty.
very lucky. Hello.
Yeah, so Africa, whereabouts did you used to visit when you were younger?
So Masai Mara, Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we have been to Tanzania, which is a neighboring country, and the wildlife over there is uncomparable. It's a different experience to India.
I see. Yeah. And local contacts there you have in Africa?
Yes. So the lodges we use, they have best of the best guides and vehicles available. You won't feel that you are in the middle of nowhere, although you are, but still you would have the Wi-Fi connection working, and five-star gourmet chef would be cooking.
Mm.
So wine is flowing. You are sitting by the bonfire and in a completely natural surrounding.
So are they kind of like luxury tents, or they're kind of built up luxury tents?
Yeah, luxury tents. Basically, it's a glamping
Hot showers?
Yes, there would be hot showers, ensuite washrooms as well.
Yes. So it sounds like a trip of a lifetime.
Indeed, it is.
God, you have a Disneyland to run for your money. Okay, so to find out more, visit your website again.
Yeah.
NIM, not N.
TREE.com.
Yeah.
Which would be present here on the screen.
Yes. And you now, I believe, have YouTube presence as well?
Yes, we are working on it, but it's still present. Social media is mostly active.
Yes, so we got Instagram. And to contact you, what email, telephone?
info@nimtree.com.
Yes.
And telephone number is on the website.
Yes.
And you can chat to us anytime.
Am I welcome to Skype you? Want to Skype you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Okay, great. Sounds like you really know your stuff and you take care of your people.
I would think I do that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well,
okay. I think that this is 45 minutes is good enough.
Yep.
Even after trimming down, I can take it to.
You can edit it, right? I guess.
Yeah.